Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the Creative Council. My name is Natasha, and today we're going to be discussing tornadoes and earthquakes and what they mean in a dream. So, if you're having a dream about a tornado, which is actually really common right now, or earthquakes and storms, a tornado is going to be basically a drastic change. So it can mean danger, destruction, hard times coming, destructive times coming, a wind of change is happening. So it could be negative or positive depending on the color of the tornado. So, but it's going to represent a drastic change coming, whether it be good or bad. And the way you know if it's, from the Lord, because sometimes you have these kind of dreams and it is the Lord warning you and showing you what He's doing. But it's not so that you can be fearful and afraid, it's so that you could have rest and peace and comfort in knowing that He's going to provide for you and that He is going to provide a way of escape or covering or shelter for you. So if it's like if the colors are really dark, like black, really, really, really dark gray, and it's really gloomy, then that's going to be a sign that it's from the enemy. Attack of the enemy is coming, or the enemy stirred it up. But if it's like lighter colors, and not necessarily saying like bright, but just lighter colors, it's not like a dark, gloomy storm where it feels like, fearful and evil, then that's going to be from the Lord. So, for instance, I had a dream of me being on a huge field and there was rolling hills and it was like a farm country. And I was walking towards this huge shed kind of barn. And as I was walking, I saw someone from my past walking with a girl, his girlfriend, and they were going the opposite direction. And I saw the storm. The storm was like coming, it was pending, and the wind started to blow. So like there goes that wind of change, and the wind started to blow. And as it was blowing, I saw some of my family members coming in from the fields, and I was screaming at them, "Run to the shed, run to the shed." So we're running to the shed, and I'm trying to hold on to my hat as I'm running. Or the barn was in the shed. It was a huge, huge red barn, and it had a kitchen in it. It had this lodge area, and it was really big. And so I was like, "Run, run, run!" And so we all ran to the barn, and when we got in there, I shut the doors. And somebody tried to get in, but they couldn't get in because I had already shut the doors. I couldn't let anyone in. So in that dream, and then after that, the tornado touched down and it started to wreak havoc. But we were safe inside of the barn, restaurant slash lodge. So what God was saying in that dream is God was telling me that He is bringing a disturbance and He is bringing a change, a drastic change. And this dream wasn't that long ago. So if you're listening to this, what is today, November 27th, 2021? This dream wasn't that long ago. So I know that from that dream, there is going to be a change that's coming. People coming in from the fields. The fields represent the harvest fields, uh, the people who are coming into the harvest, coming into the body of Christ, coming into the kingdom, being protected. And the barn represents protection and provision. That's usually where hay is kept for animals and just all the provisions are there. Of course, we're not animals, so there was a restaurant in the dream inside of the barn because that was a representation of God's provision for His people. Not only provision with food, but also provision with a place of rest. That's why there was a lodge there and a place of community where people can gather around the table and we can gather around each other. And there was light and peace there. So even though all of this stuff is about to happen in the world, the people of God don't have to fear. If we are listening, if you're, like the sons of Issachar, and you're discerning the times we're in and the season we're in, and you're not, going the opposite way like the guy and his girlfriend was, you're discerning and you're heading towards the things of God, then you won't be affected. It's kind of like when all these things were happening in Egypt, God protected His own. But anyways, that's what tornadoes are going to represent in a dream typically. So something to really pray through if you're having these dreams. And if you're having it consistently, really think about and really pray into, what do you want me to do, Lord, in the season? How do you want me to prepare? How do you want me to prepare your people? What is my role in this season? So definitely be prayerful about that. So the next element is going to be earthquakes. Now, there's a lot of people, and you may be a person who, if you're watching this video, who has a lot of dreams about earthquakes. So what that is going to mean is that means an impending or indefinite change is coming. So it's going to happen. It's not like a tornado might happen, it might happen or not, whatnot. You kind of have to watch to see. But an earthquake is definitely something that's going to happen. So if you're having a dream of an earthquake, then that's impending change and warning. A shaking is coming. Disaster is coming. But it's not always a bad thing. Like I said before, it could be the Lord. Usually when it's an earthquake, it is the Lord, because earthquakes are a symbol of judgment. So it's going to be judgment coming. And through, chaos and crisis and upheaval, God is going to shake some things. But if he's allowing you to have these dreams, that's a warning, like, hey, shaking is coming. This is going to happen. So just know this is happening. And you as a believer are a solution in these times. So if you know an earthquake is coming, if you have any dreams about earthquakes happening and just all these just shaking going on, your feet are planted on the rock, which is Jesus. He is our rock. So we won't be moved. We won't be, shaken. There's things that might be shaken out of us, but we are secure in him. So it's the same thing. Like anytime the judgment of God is going to come down, and I'm not saying that to be doom or gloomy, but there is a separation that's happening. There's a great falling away that's happening. There is evil, wicked people. They do exist. I know people want to act like that's not true, and people are just, everyone's good. That's just not the case. There are evil people who are wicked. So there is a judgment coming for the wicked, but that's not to be fearful, because in shaking, anytime God shakes and breaks things, he restores as well. So it's not to make you be fearful. It's to bring you to a place of wisdom so that you can act accordingly, because you've been forewarned, and you hopefully are discerning, and you know what times and the seasons we are in right now. So just like in Egypt, when all the plagues are happening to Pharaoh and the Egyptians, and just all these different judgments were falling on the Egyptians and on Pharaoh, it didn't happen to the Hebrews. They were in Goshen. Goshen was not too far from Egypt. That's where the Hebrews stayed, and that's where they lived. Goshen was fair. There was no hell in Goshen. They didn't lose livestock. They didn't starve. The death angel passed over Goshen. So there's always going to be a place for God to protect, and for God to cover his own, and to hide his own, and to preserve his remnant. So don't be fearful. Just know that God is showing you this so you can prepare accordingly. But know that even through it all, the ultimate goal is God is going to get glory out of the whole situation. So even though the wicked people are being judged, and maybe a lot of things are shaking around you, that it's because God is going to reveal his glory in a beautiful way. So there's hope. So don't be fearful like the world is. We're not supposed to be fearful like that. But anyways, I digress. Earthquakes are going to be a representation, like I said, of an impending change coming up, maybe through upheaval or crisis, or disaster. But God is, usually in that, because it's a judgment. So, but don't be fearful. That means you just need to be prayerful, be wise, and discerning. So, anyways, video is getting long, so my apologies. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave it in the comments below. And if you have any other elements as far as weather that you want to know more about, or you're having trouble unpacking with the Lord, go ahead and leave it in the comments below. Or you can email me, message me, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And if there's a lot of questions surrounding that topic, I will do a video on it. So anyways, I hope this blessed you. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Till next time, be healed, be whole, be free.